Native Hill Travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're here in Montreal at the Gare Centrale, and we're taking the train. We're going from Montreal to Toronto. This is my experience taking it. I got a business class seat, so I had a reserved seat, so let's see how it goes, because I see people already lining up to get on, and the train doesn't leave for another 50 minutes. So, yeah, be ready. So I'll tell you, you gotta hold on. Remember, have 3 points of contact. You'll need this. Take my word for it. Well, we made it to Toronto. It's actually pretty much on time, which was nice. Not the most comfy ride. The chairs were okay, but it is bumpy. You do need to hold on when you're on there. Just give you a heads up for that. But overall, for a 5-hour ride, not too bad. So, how was that train ride from Montreal to Toronto? Well, I've been in Toronto for a day now. I have time to recover from that trip, and I got a few things I want to tell you. First off, I did go with a business class ticket to come here. I'm actually here on Thanksgiving weekend in Canada, so therefore the trains were really full. That's why a lot of the things were sold out, because I was traveling on a Friday of a 3-day weekend. So that's one thing I need to let you know, is they don't always sell out as much as they do when I travel on this time. Now, I got the business class ticket. I bought it about a week beforehand, and I believe it was around 320, 340 Canadian dollars. So think high 200s in US dollars for a 5-hour train ride. Now, could I have flown that a lot faster? Yeah, I could have flown that a lot faster, but the easiness of just going to the train station, the Gare Centrale in Montreal, getting on the train and going was vastly superior than waiting on the lines and all the security checks with the airports, and then coming in from Pearson to here. It was much easier taking the train. I'll tell you that right now. That is your easiest way to get from Montreal to Toronto. Also, you don't have to drive, because that drive gets a bit moosey at some places, all right? Let's just put it that way. In terms of my experience on the train, the seats were fine. I mean, they were business class seats, so they were like kind of that leathery kind of thing. And I had a nice little space between me and the person next to me, so we didn't bother each other. We had plenty of space. And in the business class, there's a 1 seat on one side and then 2 on the other. So you had a bit more space that way. Economy, I could not go to. When I actually left my one wagon, the ladies in the other wagon, like, what are you doing here? You can't do this. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was kind of interesting. So you're going to be kind of stuck in your cabin when you're there. Each seat there was a double plug between the seats, so I could charge my device, and the lady next to me could charge her device. They have the overhead bins like an airplane where it closed, so you didn't have to worry about things falling out on you. So that was nice. At the end of the car, they actually had places for your big luggage. Just know that they will probably rearrange the luggage to fit more stuff in. So if you go to get your luggage when you get off the train, it might be on the other side of the aisle. So just be aware of that. Now, if you're one of those people that gets sick when you're traveling backwards in the train, well, half the train is going with the direction of the train and half the train is going backwards. So when you book your ticket, see if you can get one that's going to be facing in the direction. When I booked my ticket, it did have that option for going in the direction of the train. So that is something to kind of think about if you get a little queasy that way. If you're looking to do work on the train, yeah, in the business class one, it's not really helpful for business, because the tray table that comes down is fine for the food they give you, but it's not really fine for more than like a Chromebook sized laptop to really get any work done. If you're one of those seats by themselves, every so often they have the tables that you can fold out. That had plenty of room to work if you wanted that, but again, you have to make sure you book that seat to get that. Now, one of the things I thought was interesting is there were no restaurant cars. There was no snack car at least in the business section, so we couldn't get anything extra to eat. But what they actually do when you go on the train is when you book your ticket, it had us select what kind of meal would you like. And I'm not joking you, there was the bland option. I'm not joking, it was bland. It says bland. I'm like, huh. There was bland option. I didn't check anything, so I got the normal meal. They had vegetarian, they had vegan, they had gluten-free. I mean, there was like 8 or 9 different options. I mean, I was very impressed with the food options you had on there. So that was cool. I went for the omelet. So it was, your typical kind of hotel omelet, rolled up. There was some potatoes and mushrooms with it. Came with a bowl of fruit, and I got a croissant or bagel, and you could have tea or a drink. It was fine. I mean, it was equivalent of airline food, okay? I know when you look online, you hear about how, oh, the Canadian, the Toronto to Vancouver were such great food, la la la. Look, this is not on this one, not the Montreal Toronto, it's blah. Like, bring some snacks. That's one advice I'd say. Bring snacks when you're going on this train, because it is 5 hours, 5.5 hours. And if you got kids, they're not going to like the food that's on there. Okay, they're going to be like, that's it, Mom? That's it, Dad? I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. No, make sure you bring some snacks with you, bring some drinks with you. When they do go by each time, they'll ask if you want a refill on your drink. So that was nice. You know, tea or coffee or water or orange juice. So that was cool. I will say the staff on there were excellent. Any question you had, they would answer. If we were behind, if we were on schedule, what's the next stop, they would answer anything. They were super friendly. I was very happy with that. So that's nice. They did announce right before all the stops, so if you weren't going all the way to Toronto, if you were going to get off in Kingston, there was an announcement for that. And Kingston's really the only stop in between where a lot of people get on. Otherwise, it's really like little small stations that you hit along the way, so not really too worried when you're going between the small stations, like, oh, no one's next to me. There's probably not going to be next to you for a while. So it's only Kingston you have to worry about losing that extra seat next to you. Now, I will say, when you're getting on the train in Montreal, remember I showed that long line? Yeah, there is a long line, but they go through that quick. And I'll tell you, if you are late, they will leave without you. No questions asked, because I was in that line, and it was like 5 minutes till it was supposed to take off. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to get out of here on time. And they got me down. I was like the third to last person in the line, because why wait in that line? Because it's reserved seats, so it didn't matter. I got down there, and like literally I walked on the train before I even got my seat. They're gone. So don't be like, oh, I'll show up at like, it's 6:51 train. I'll show up at 6:47. Oh, no. Just get there and go. Okay, so have a heads up for that. If you're going to be traveling with kids, or you need extra time to get on the train, they actually had a separate line you'd go to, and they let you get on first. So if you got the little ones, go to the other side, and that's going to help you. And if they see you in line, they might be like, hey, you want to go to the other line over there on the other side of the station, other side of the entrance to get in there. You do not wait on the tracks. You literally walk straight into the train. They're like, go to your train. Okay, it is not like in Europe where you kind of sit on the track for a while, then it comes up. No. It's waiting there, then they tell you to go, and then you get on and it goes. Okay, so be aware of that. When you do get to Toronto, I want to tell you, when you get to Toronto, getting off the train, everyone gets off the train there, because that's where it stops, right? But they have like one escalator to get off the train, at least from the side I came from. Like literally like one small escalator, and you have a whole train with one tiny escalator, people are trying to go down. So it does take a little bit of waiting until you actually get off the track to get into the station. And I'll be honest with you, when you come into Union Station into Toronto, sometimes you're like, how do I get out of here? Like, you get a little lost when you come out, because they have the path, which is the underground systems, which you can go through. There's a food court down below. You get connected to all kinds of other things. But if you want to get out, look for the signs for sortie or exit. They'll help you out there. Look for like York Street or something. That'll help you get out. And once you get out, you'll see like the CN Tower will be right there. The Fairmont will be right there. So it's pretty simple to get out once you get out. And then you can go explore. And you do have options from Central Station. You've got the TTC goes from there. So the buses and the subway go from there. So that's really nice. So wherever you're going to go around the city, you can do that. There's taxis. You can call Ubers to get around. No problem. So overall, my train ride was bumpy, but okay. So I hope that helps you know how to take the train from Montreal to Toronto. And honestly, it's the same way going backwards, Toronto to Montreal. So I hope this helps.